Hello everyone, this is Andrew from Crown Academy of English. Today we're looking at the difference between the words as and like. So let's look at as with a noun phrase. We use this to describe a role or function. Example. This is the teacher and he's talking to Mark. The teacher says, "As your teacher, I want you to succeed." Okay, so here this actually means I am your teacher and I want you to succeed. So he's defining his role. My role, my function is your teacher, and therefore I want you to succeed. Okay, so as here, it's acting like as a preposition. It's a preposition. So as and then a noun phrase. My role. Now let's compare that to like and a noun phrase. Very important, this is not a verb. I know there is a verb like, but here like is a preposition. And we use like as a preposition to describe things or people that are the same or similar. So, example. Now, later on in the day, Mark is talking to a friend. Okay, so the friend says, "Like your teacher, I want you to succeed." Like your teacher, I want you to succeed. And this means I also want you to succeed. Okay, like your teacher, this means I have the same attitude as your teacher. Okay, I agree with your teacher. I also want you to succeed. Okay, so the friend is not the teacher. Here it's the role. Here the teacher is saying, "I am your teacher as your teacher." But here, no, the friend is not the teacher. The friend is someone else. But he's saying, "I agree with your teacher." Okay, it's a big difference. Now, in this video, we're going to look in detail at all the uses of as and like. Okay, so let's continue. So as, again, as a noun with a noun phrase, and we use it very often to describe jobs. Jane works in London as a doctor. As a doctor. Okay, so that is her role. That is her function. And Mark worked as a computer programmer for 5 years. Okay, so his role was as a computer programmer. This was his function. Okay, this was his job. And this was Jane's job. You work as something. We can also use as to describe the use or function of something. Claire is using the couch as a bed. Okay, so this is not the bed, this is a couch, but she's using the couch as a bed. Okay, as followed by the function. This object has this function. And Jane is using the newspaper as an umbrella. This is the newspaper, but she's using it as an umbrella. So this object has this function. Okay, as an umbrella, the use or function. We can also use as with a noun phrase to describe your identity or role before giving your opinion. We often see this on YouTube comments, in fact. Now let me give you an example of a video I recently watched. So this is example 1. I recently watched this video and it's about a pilot, a YouTuber who is a pilot who crashed the aeroplane on purpose. Okay, so he did something very, very stupid. Here he is, he's jumping out of the plane. And then I looked at the comments below the video. And here we see one. As a pilot myself. Okay, so he's defining this person here, the person who wrote the comment, he is defining his identity or role. So he's saying, I'm a pilot and this is my opinion. Okay, so this, as a pilot, he is explaining or giving the reason why his opinion has value. My opinion has value. My opinion is important because I'm a pilot. Okay, so the subject of the video is about flying, about pilots, and so he's giving the context for his opinion. Okay, I'm a pilot and therefore I have knowledge about this subject. Okay, so my role, and then here is my opinion. Now let me give you another example. I also watched another YouTube video, and this was a video about German firefighters, okay, who did a fantastic job saving people in an accident. Okay, so it's a very positive story about German firefighters. And again, in the comments, someone wrote, as a firefighter from South Africa. So here we have the identity. He's giving his identity, his role, and this is why his comment has value. His comment, his opinion is important because he's a firefighter. So he says, as a firefighter from South Africa, and then he gives his opinion. Okay, so again, if you start watching some YouTube videos, you will see this structure everywhere in a lot of comments. Okay, so if there is a controversial video, you often see as and then their role or their function, why their comment or opinion is important. Okay, we have some other expressions. As you know, as we discussed, as you suggested. And we use these expressions to introduce facts that are already known by the speaker and the listener. Okay, so you're saying something that you are saying something that the other person already knows. Okay, so you're repeating something. You are confirming a fact. So let me give you an example. These are all business examples. So the manager will say, as you know, we must increase sales next year. Okay, so he's confirming something that he has already said. As we discussed last week, here is your bonus. Okay, so he is, or he or she, I think it is a he. He is confirming that they have already discussed the bonus, and he's saying, here it is. Okay. And finally, as you suggested, we have recruited an accountant. So here is the accountant. So the person who is speaking is saying, yes, I confirm that you suggested that we recruit an accountant, and we have done it. Okay, so you are introducing or confirming a fact that the other person already knows. Okay, so it's just a way of reminding someone of what you have already discussed. Okay. Like followed by a noun phrase. So now we're looking at the word like. And again, this is not a verb. In this context, this is not a verb. we're using it as a preposition. Okay? So, to describe similar things or people. He's fast. He runs like the wind. Okay, so he runs similar or the same as the wind, because of course the wind is very fast. Nobody likes the boss. He acts like a bully. So here we have like as a verb, and here we have like as a preposition. Okay, so big difference. Verb, preposition. So he acts in the same or similar way like a bully. Okay, a bully acts like this. Okay, a bully acts like this. And some more examples. John looks like his brother. John looks like his brother. Okay, they look similar. They look the same. Jane is dressed like her sister. Dressed like someone. So if two people are dressed the same, you can say person 1 is dressed like person 2. And some more examples with like. Like Mark, Jane wants to live in London. So this means that Mark and Jane have a similar opinion. Okay? Mark wants to live in London and Jane also wants to live in London. Okay? They both have a similar desire. Okay? Now, let's look at something in the negative. Unlike David, Claire wants to live in Los Angeles. So this means Claire wants to live in Los Angeles, but David does not want to live in Los Angeles. So unlike David. Okay. We can also use like with a noun phrase to give an example of something. She is good at several sports, like tennis. So tennis is an example of a sport that she is good at. Okay, she's good at several sports, like tennis. And we can also ask for an example. This is a very common structure. So Claire says, he has committed many crimes. And Sarah says, like what? So this question, like what? Sarah is asking for an example. She's saying, well, give me an example. What is an example of a crime that he has committed? Like what? And the answer is, Claire says, well, like burglary. So here Claire is giving an example of a crime. Like burglary. Okay, so that's the end. As your teacher, I hope that you liked this video. And here are some other videos I recommend.